Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in and checking out my latest video. Now, this video is going to be about the UFC card coming up Saturday night. I'm going to talk about two fights that I'm very interested in and give you guys my prediction on who I think will win those fights. So let me first start off with Ronda Rousey versus Alexis Davis. Now, if you're not familiar with Alexis Davis, she's a very determined fighter. She has a good ground game and her striking is improving, and she's a very durable fighter. Now, Ronda Rousey, of course, is the champion. She has excellent arm bars. That's how she finishes all her opponents. Great submission skills and a great grappling game, which is led by her excellent judo. Now, when I look at these two women, Ronda Rousey holds quite a few advantages in this fight. Number one, she holds a strength advantage, she holds a grappling advantage, and submission advantages. Although Alexis Davis, I think in this fight, she holds a striking advantage and also the edge in experience. But ultimately, I think that Ronda Rousey will win this fight by, you guessed it, a second round armbar against Alexis Davis. It's not that Alexis Davis is not a good fighter. She is. She's fought a lot of excellent competition. And she's also pretty exciting as well. It's just that Ronda Rousey is a whole nother animal. And I don't think anybody is going to stop her armbars for a while. And I think she's going to remain the champ for quite a few years. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. Some people are getting sick of hearing about Ronda Rousey because Dana White is constantly talking about her 24/7, which is his job as a promoter, but it annoys some people as well. But nonetheless, I think Ronda Rousey wins this fight. And I'm looking forward also to the Ultimate Fighter with Gilbert Melendez and Anthony Pettis because they're going to have some more women fighter on that show. And the women really put on excellent fights. If you haven't watched any of them, I really recommend you should. Now, the next matchup I'm going to talk about is in the middleweight division between Chris Weidman and Lyoto Machida. Lyoto Machida, in this fight, I believe, holds an advantage in striking and also speed. Now, why I say he holds an advantage in striking, number one, he uses excellent angles and is extremely patient and sets up traps to catch fighters in. And also, when I say that, some people will say, well, look at how good Chris Weidman did against Anderson Silva. You got to remember, Lyoto Machida is a different striker than Anderson Silva. Lyoto Machida moves around a lot more. And he also, his background is in karate, so they have a different stance, a complete different way of striking kind of thing. Now, I do give the edge to this fight for Chris Weidman in grappling. I think he's better offensively on the ground, and I also think that maybe even on his back as well. We haven't seen Chris Weidman there because he has an excellent wrestling background, which is another thing I give him the edge in. And I think those are also, I would say, strength as well. I give Chris Weidman an edge. But I think that Chris Weidman ultimately will win this fight. The reason why I'm saying that is because if Lyoto Machida can make him become impatient and keep the fight standing, well, I think Lyoto Machida will win the fight. But Chris Weidman has that excellent wrestling and is not afraid to go to the ground because he has some excellent ground skills as well. So basically, I'm going to give this fight to Chris Weidman strictly on the grappling advantage. Lyoto Machida as well in this fight holds the experience advantage. And he's been in there with the better competition other than Anderson Silva with Chris Weidman. Lyoto Machida has been in there with some excellent, great fighters. So I think that might be an advantage to him as well. And it's going to be interesting to see if Chris Weidman sticks to his game plan or if Lyoto Machida makes him commit and makes him make a few mistakes throughout the fight. That's something that I'm looking for, I know, throughout this fight. And we're going to have to wait and see how Chris Weidman deals with that. But I think ultimately Chris Weidman wins a decision in this fight, I'm going to say. And I think he sticks to his game plan. I think Chris Weidman is a guy who doesn't get excited in the moment, is a very calm fighter. And he's going to add another excellent victory against Lyoto Machida, who is actually friends and a training partner of Anderson Silva, and another great win on his resume. Also, guys, Uriah Faber is fighting Bruce Leroy on the prelim fights, which is very odd. So you're going to want to check that one out. And nonetheless, I think those three fights will be pretty excellent. I think, by the way, Uriah Faber wins his fight against Bruce Leroy strictly due to Uriah Faber being in there with the better fighters. Bruce Leroy hasn't fought the same type of fighters, and Uriah Faber is just a veteran and a world-class fighter. I don't think Bruce Leroy is at this point of his career. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning into the video. I got Ronda Rousey by second round armbar. I got Chris Weidman winning a decision. And I'm going to take Uriah Faber to actually stop Bruce Leroy in the second round of his fight via strikes. So thank you very much, guys. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree with my assessment of the fight. Like my picks I made, let me know. And thank you very much for tuning into the video. I appreciate it once again. Thank you.